thought it was the dog. Then we saw someone standing in the woods, staring at us. I was 14, and my friend was 15. One weekend he asked if I wanted to spend the night, so I did. His mom was at work, and his dad was out for a bit, so it was basically just us in the house. We were upstairs in his room playing video games, talking trash, laughing normal stuff. That's when we started hearing it. Scratching, a little tapping, then a soft bang. It wasn't super loud at first, so we didn't take it seriously. He had a dog, and we figured the dog was messing around somewhere. So we kept playing. A few minutes later, it happened again, only this time it was louder. A couple harder bangs, like something hit the side of the house. We paused the game and listened. Then we heard it again, so we went to check on the dog. Except, it couldn't have been the dog. The dog was lying down near his parents' room, calm as could be. Not even interested, not moving, not reacting. And that's when the feeling hit me. That cold little thought like,
what if someone's inside?
We grabbed flashlights and started checking the upstairs rooms first. Closets, bathroom, spare room, every corner, nothing. So we went downstairs. And I swear, the house felt completely different without the game noise and the lights. It was just darkness and the sound of our own footsteps. We decided to check the backyard. And the backyard was weird because it was fenced in. But behind the fence was a steep drop-off that led into woods. Like if someone was back there, they had to really want to be. We swept our flashlights across the yard. Nothing, no movement, no sound, just the fence and that black wall of trees beyond it. I told my friend we should check the front and then walk around the outside of the fence line. So we did. We went out front and we split up. He went left. I went right. On the right side, his fence connected with the neighbor's fence. And when I rounded the corner, I saw my friend just standing there, frozen. His flashlight was aimed toward the woods near the drop-off. I stepped up next to him and followed his beam. And that's when I saw it. A guy dressed head to toe in black, just standing there. Not running, not hiding, not moving, staring straight at us. My stomach dropped so fast it felt like my whole body went cold. I didn't think, I just yelled,
"Run!"
And we bolted back inside, slammed the door, locked it, and called the police. A couple officers showed up not long after, checked around, and found nothing. No footprints, no person, no sign of anyone. They told us to call again if anything else happened. And our parents told us to stay inside and stay downstairs. So we did. But the problem was, the house didn't feel safe anymore, not after what we saw. About an hour later, we were sitting on the couch downstairs when my friend suddenly whispered,
"Did you see that?
See what?
A light. Someone just shined a light through the window."
And like, the second he said it, a beam of light swept across the window. Quick, controlled, like someone was scanning the room. We called the police again, but when they arrived, they didn't find anything. Eventually, his dad got home. We took him outside to show him where we saw the guy. And then we all heard footsteps out near the yard, but his dad played it off. Said it was probably just a hunter passing through. It wasn't over. 2 weeks later, my friend asked if I wanted to spend the night again. And for some reason, I said yes. That night, both of his parents were working again. We were upstairs joking around about the hunter, trying to make it feel normal. The dog went outside to do its thing, and I casually peeked out the back door to check on him, and I froze. Because it looked like someone was peeking over the fence. Just a shape. A head, barely visible, but enough. We called the dog back inside immediately and locked the door. A few minutes later, we were back in his room when we heard noises again. I went to the window and looked out, and I saw it again. A figure peeking over the fence line, watching. We grabbed our flashlights, ran to the backyard, and aimed the beams at the spot we thought we saw the person. And for a split second, the light caught the outline of a head near the top of the fence. Then it dropped out of sight. We ran back inside and called the police again. They came, checked, and again found nothing. They even waited outside near the woods for a few minutes. Nothing happened. They left and told us to call again if anything changed. We went back upstairs. 2 hours passed. And then we heard the loudest banging we'd heard yet. It started from downstairs, hard impacts, then it moved across the house toward the front door, like whoever it was testing everything. We grabbed the dog and barricaded ourselves in a room and waited, shaking, listening to every sound. We called the police again. They showed up. And once again, they found nobody. No sign of forced entry, no sign of anyone. Just a house full of scared kids, trying to explain something that kept vanishing into the dark. That was the last time it ever happened. But it still messes with us, because we weren't imagining it. We saw him, and whoever that was, knew exactly where the fence line dropped into the woods. And he kept coming back. I couldn't sleep that night, and if I had fallen asleep, I don't know what would have happened. This happened back in the summer of 2008. I was 12 years old, sleeping over at my friend Calvin's house. His family came home unexpectedly early, so things got a little hectic inside. We came up with what felt like a totally harmless idea at the time. We'd pitch a tent in his backyard and sleep out there instead. It was a warm night, and the yard felt quiet and safe. Or at least it did at first. We got the tent set up in about 15 minutes. Calvin had this small nightlight mounted on the back of his house that gave off just enough light to see the grass and the old wooden fence at the edge of the property. Behind that fence was nothing but a deep, dark stretch of trees. We lived in a pretty rural part of New Jersey, so it wasn't unusual to be surrounded by woods. Eventually, Calvin shut the nightlight off, and we settled into our sleeping bags and tried to get some sleep. Calvin fell asleep almost instantly. I didn't. I've never been able to sleep well in sleeping bags, and that night was no different. I must have spent hours just twisting around, staring up at the dark fabric of the tent, listening to the wind rustling the leaves outside. And then I heard it. A quiet, rattling, creaky sound. It sounded like the wooden fence was moving, shifting. At first I told myself it was just the wind pushing against the old planks. But being the only one awake, outside in the middle of nowhere, it just didn't feel right. The sound kept going. It wasn't loud, just constant. A rhythmic, groaning creak that started to get under my skin. After what felt like an eternity, I couldn't take it anymore. I shook Calvin awake and whispered, "Listen." He was groggy and annoyed, and he told me it was nothing, just the house settling or the wind. But at least he was awake now. That made me feel a little bit safer. I carefully unzipped the tent just a crack and peered out toward the fence. I couldn't see a thing. It was just a wall of blackness. So I took a deep breath, crawled out of the tent, and tiptoed over to the house. I flipped the nightlight switch on, and that's when I saw him. A person, just a dark shape, leaning with their full weight against the fence. Their head was down, like they were pushing into the wood, trying to break through. I didn't even think. I just smacked the light switch off instantly, plunging the yard back into darkness, and dove headfirst back into the tent. I whispered frantically to Calvin,
"I just saw someone."
and as soon as we went silent, the noise stopped. The creaking was just gone. That sudden, unnatural silence felt so much worse than the sound. It was like whatever was out there knew we were listening. I told Calvin we should try to quietly call his house phone from my cell. He said no. He said we should run. Before I could argue, he was already unzipping the tent as carefully and silently as he could. The moment he stepped 1 foot outside, he screamed. A raw, terrified scream. I scrambled out of the tent and just ran. I ran straight for the glowing rectangle of the back door without even looking back to see what he had screamed at. Once we were safely inside, with the door locked, I finally turned and asked Calvin why he screamed like that. His answer scared me more than anything else that night. He said when he stepped out of the tent, there was someone standing right next to it. Not at the fence anymore, right there, close enough to reach out and touch him. We ended up sleeping upstairs in his room after that. But even then, with the window open to the warm night air, I could swear I still heard that fence creaking from time to time. Every time I'd get the nerve to look out into the yard, there was nothing there. Just the dark grass and the swaying trees. And that somehow made it all so much worse. We were just two kids playing video games in an empty house, until we realized we weren't alone. I was 14 years old, hanging out with my friend Jesse, who was also 14. We were in his living room playing Call of Duty. His parents weren't home that night, so we were loud laughing, yelling, eating junk food, just being dumb kids. At some point, Jesse convinced me to just stay over for the night. Nothing felt off yet. Jesse was upstairs using bathroom, and while he was gone, I went downstairs to call my mom and tell her I was staying over. When I came back upstairs, Jesse was already there, just standing still. He stared at me with this confused look on his face. I asked him,
"What's wrong?"
He said he thought I was upstairs the entire time, because he heard someone in the bedroom next to the bathroom. I told him that was impossible. I'd been downstairs the whole time, but he didn't look convinced. We walked upstairs together. Jesse stopped at the bedroom door and pressed his ear against it. Then he slowly opened the door and peeked inside. The room was dark, but there was just enough light to see around. Nothing looked out of place. No one was there. He shut the door. I told him he was just being paranoid, and we went back downstairs. We turned the game volume back up and kept playing. After the match ended, the loading screen came on, and the house went quiet. That's when Jesse and I looked at each other. He muted the TV, and in the silence, we heard it, grunting, coming from upstairs, low, slow, controlled. The moment the TV went quiet, the noise upstairs stopped too, like whoever was up there realized we were listening. Jesse leaned in and whispered,
Someone is hiding up there.
He told me we needed to leave right now and to go through the back door because it was quieter. I didn't argue. As soon as we got outside, Jesse called the police. I looked up toward the bedroom window, and for some stupid reason, I turned on my phone flashlight and aimed it at the glass. 3 seconds later, my heart dropped. A person stepped into view behind the window, tall, still. Then they crouched down out of sight. Jesse saw it too. We took off running down the block. We only came back when we saw police lights outside the house. As the cops went inside to investigate, we waited by the car. That's when we saw him. The same guy, walking fast out of the backyard, trying to stay quiet. He was huge, like 6'5", and looked to be in his mid-40s. We screamed for the cops, but by the time they came outside, he was gone. Inside the bedroom, they found a large clothes bag pulled out from under the bed. Clothes were missing, and money was gone from the desk drawer. We never saw that man again. But the scariest part wasn't what he took. It was how long he'd been hiding up there, waiting in the dark, just listening to us. If you like creepy horror stories like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. It would mean a lot. And it's completely free.